Don't fence me in. Let me ride through the wide open country that I love. Don't fence me in. Let me be by myself in the evening breeze.
Mr. Dennis Ashley?
And listen to the murmur of the cotton.
Do you know that was one of the top songs of 1944, the year at 17 you enlisted in the U.S. Navy?
Yes, I remember that.
Did you also know that version was Bing Crosby and the Andrews Sisters and Roy Rogers and the Sons of Pioneers, and you're a son of Pioneer? I thought that was a neat deal.
It is.
All right, so tell me about when you got back from World War II. How long were you in the Navy post-war?
Well, I was in there for about a little over a year after the war was over. You may be aware that they established a point system for getting out because they had like 16 million people in their service, and they had a point system you got points based on various things.
Like
and
what?
I got out on the point system just like everybody else did, and it took me that long to get enough points to get out. Because I wanted to go to school, wanted to go to college, and because I went in pretty soon after high school, I went into the Navy, and so I was anxious to get out and get on with my life. But
tell me about the point system. I've never heard that before. What kind of things would give you points?
Well, the length of service, how long you'd been in there. You got points for certain areas of the combat areas. If you were in combat in where there was a lot of action, Iwo Jima or somewhere like that, you got extra points for that. And honestly, I don't remember all the factors, but there were a number of different factors. But everybody at that time was separated from the military by the point system.
Okay. So then what did you do when you came home? You went to university?
Well, I just took a couple of months vacation, lived with my parents, and didn't do much of anything until college began in the fall, and then I enrolled in college in Monroe, Louisiana. It's called Northeast Junior College of Louisiana State University. It was operated by the State University, LSU, and
is that what went on to be Northeastern?
Well, no, it's now called University of Louisiana at Monroe.
Oh, okay.
It's a big university now.
Okay, because they have a Northeastern. A guy I went to high school with named Bradley Del Pivito ended up being the head coach up there, and he's back at he's coaching at LSU now. But he had coached. That made sense that would have been there. So then, what did you do after college?
Well, I didn't finish college. I went a year and a half, and then I left college and came down to Texas and got a job and worked for Phillips Petroleum for a while, and then later I went back to Louisiana, and really, when I got out, I really wanted to go to medical school because I'd had quite a lot of medical training, and I liked it, and I did well in it scholastically, and so I wanted to go to medical school, but I couldn't afford it. You didn't have federally insured loans then to student loans weren't available then, and that was a long 8 to 10 years of school, and so anyway, I ended up majoring in pharmacy, and but they changed that from a 4-year curriculum to a 5, and I was going to school on the GI Bill and only had 4 years eligibility for college, so I saw that wasn't going to work. So I changed my curriculum, majored in accounting, and actually finished up later at going to night school at the University of Houston here, and for my last 2 years.
And then what?
Well, I was working while I was going to school, so by that time I was married and had 2 children, and I was living down in southern Missouri County, a little place called West Columbia, and I was driving 2 nights a week to the University of Houston, so it took me 4.5 years to finish the last 2 of college, and I worked for, actually I worked for 4 different corporations during my career. I worked for Phillips Petroleum, I worked for Dow Chemical, I worked for Occidental Petroleum, and I actually ended up retired from Monsanto here in Albany, and I retired when I was 58 years old. I've been retired 37 years.
I'm processing. I'm running the numbers through my head. All right, I have 1 minute left, Mr. Ashley. I want to thank you for your service, but let me ask you real quickly about a day in your life. What time do you get up in the morning?
I usually get up about 7.
All right, and then do you eat breakfast?
I sure do. I usually make breakfast for my wife and myself, but we have a light breakfast, like cereal most of the time. So that's pretty easy to do.
You make the cereal. I like that. What brand of cereal is it?
Well, actually, right now we're having granola, Quaker granola.
Oh, okay. All right. And then what do you do after that?
Well, just whatever I want to. That sounds strange, but
no, that
that's
sounds
pretty much
wonderful.
what we do.
That sounds delightful.
It is delightful. It is. It's great, and I've never been bored one day in my 37 years of retirement. Never, not one day.
On that happy note, Dennis Ashley, I am up against a break, Mr. Ashley, but thank you for your service. You've been wonderful as a guest. I'm glad we talked to you.
I'm glad we did, too, and I thank you very much for having me on.